I'm gonna always root for the underdog, always, because I consider myself an underdog, and I have mad respect for underdogs because we weren't supposed to make it. None of the underdogs were supposed to make it. Everything was counted against us. From elementary school throughout high school, I was placed in special ed. I wasn't expected to do much in life. I remember I wanted to be an artist, and my family would tell me, well, there's a lot of starving artists. Why don't you become a plumber? And no disrespect to plumbers or any other kind of job that most people don't want to do, because being a plumber, you could turn around and turn that into a business. So um, I'm not going to crap on plumbers or any position, but I always wanted to be an artist. I loved to draw when I was younger, and I still like to draw. But there wasn't that much expected from me. Now, when I was a kid, I was a bad dude. Like I stole, I did a lot of dumb stuff. But of course, I grew up, and my kids, they some good kids. I can't complain. They're nothing like their father when I was younger. Now, I'm like a monk. Uh, I don't do stupid stuff. But I'm just intrigued with underdogs. I remember I was always told that there's three things that can happen to me if I didn't change when I was a high schooler: dead, in jail, or strung out on drugs. Oh, and the fourth one, homeless. Now, the other three, no, didn't happen to me. Thank you, Lord. But the fourth one, I've experienced homelessness. And I've experienced homelessness three times, three different times in my life. But going back to high school, I was a football player. I ran track. Matter of fact, my little brother told me my record is still on the wall. I think it was a long jump record. I think it was like 17 or 18 feet, something like that. And I think because my hand was like this when I was born, and technically my hands were webbed together like this when I was born, and then eventually I had surgery on my hands to separate my digits on my finger, on my hands, on my hand. And I don't know. I had a learning issue. I was dyslexic. I saw things in a different way, especially when it came to reading or looking at a bunch of numbers or words. It would move around and everything. And I was labeled. I had a learning disability. And to be honest with you, when I was in middle school and high school, I had like a second grade reading level. I was at a second grade reading level. And once I found out, did a little bit of history search regarding uh, slavery in America, as I became a young adult, I started getting serious about my education. It was a little late, but like they say, it's never too late to up your game academically. And so once I found out this, it was against the law for the slaves to learn how to read, and they could lose a hand or a foot. And then I found out the reason why they didn't want the slave to learn how to read is because, like Frederick Douglass once said in his autobiography, then they could no longer be a slave. And so that fired me up. That got me to start wanting to learn how to read and not be illiterate. And I started learning all kind of stuff. I started learning to read, um, and I started studying all kind of stuff. And had I listened to what others were saying, the expectation, and had I believed it, I could have been dead or in jail or strung out on drugs. I'm saying all that to say this. No matter what your situation is or what you've experienced in the past, you can change it. All it takes is a choice. Are you going to have to work your ass off? Are you going to have to put in the work? Yes. Now, going back to homelessness, I got married, my first wife. I'm married now, my second wife, and I got a great marriage. I can't complain. But when I was married with my first wife and I had my kids, we weren't really getting along without getting into it. And I did whatever I had to do. I moved out and I made sure that my kids' mother got child support. And that was one of the reasons why I ended up sleeping in my car. And I had to work at the same time. And I wanted to make sure my kids were taken care of before me. And that's not to toot my own horn. I had to do what I had to do. This is what we do as men. And like I said, this is why I respect the underdog. Plus, I look at the underdog, including myself. I don't know if you guys ever seen Gladiators with Russell Crowe in it. He was a Roman warrior. I think he was a general, and he pretty much was cast away. And to make a long story short, much wasn't expected from his position, from his situation. And like the good alchemist he was, he turned a negative situation into a positive. And he became a gladiator. And he turned tragic situations and made it work for him. I think he eventually dealt with the empress who uh, actually put him in a situation where he became a gladiator. And make a long story short, the empress, uh, put a dagger or some kind of small knife into his neck before he fought him. And Russell Crowe, he still won. And that's how I see the underdog. That's how I see myself. Having a no matter what attitude, doing whatever you can to find a way out of no way. When I was sleeping in my car, I had to bathe myself. And like I said in my past videos, I had to wash myself up in the Burger King bathroom, take a bird bath. It was tough. It was rough, but I wanted to make sure that my kid's mom, got the money that we agreed on so she can help take care of the kids. And now I have full custody and sole legal custody of my kids. I'm a working man and I'm remarried. I got a great life. But had I folded, had I felt sorry for myself to such a degree where I fall apart or end up in jail or end up dead or end up on drugs, because I ain't gonna lie to y'all, it was easy to go there. And when I say go there, it was easy to feel sorry for myself. It was easy to go down heal. It was easy to give up. But I come from a strong lineage of black folks. We don't give up. We thrive. We thrive in the face of adversity. We do what we can to make shit happen. We do what we can to move mountains. Obviously, with God's help, we can do anything. So that's why I talk about homeless people experiencing homelessness in large numbers in America, and uh, was it 14.9 million abandoned homes across America? And you mean to tell me those homes can't be occupied? We live in such a greedy society where these homes have been abandoned across America. All these homeless people can't occupy them. So it's almost like if the banks can't get anyone to pay the mortgage and go through all the trips and changes to qualify to own a home and to pay a mortgage, so the house just falls apart and nobody can live in it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That don't make sense to me. And before I was homeless, uh, when I was going through a divorce with my first wife, uh, when I was a young adult, like right out of high school, I was homeless again, where I was sleeping on my friends' couch and their floors. I remember when I would sleep on the couch. Actually, no, at this time I was sleeping on their floor, and their little daughters, two little daughters, I think they were like 4 or 5. Shoot, man, and I was sleeping in their living room. Um, they wanted to watch TV, Nickelodeon and all that stuff, and they was playing around with me, opened up my eyes and stuff, and I remember those days where I remember saying to myself, Mike, you're not gonna have to do this too much longer. And I thank God for my friends at that time because they didn't have to take me in. And I know we're taught that, because even when I was a kid, my parents would tell me, especially my dad and my granddad, you see that homeless person right there? They probably didn't do good in school, or they probably dropped out, or they probably got caught in drugs. And yes, some of that does happen to some people when they become homeless or cause them to become homeless. But that's not always the case. Sometimes the system could be so rough, so tough, so unforgiving. Prices are too damn high. Food prices is too high. Rent is too damn high. Um, the system is tough. And if you're not strong, like that song go, only the strong will survive. I remember hearing that as a kid, and I'm thinking, that's a cool song. No, that's real. Only the strong will survive, man. And I think what that meant, and this you can interpret that in many different ways. Try not to get emotional. You can interpret that in many different ways. And the way I interpret it in 2025 is you better not crack up. You better not come up with excuses on why you can't make it. And what I realized in the middle of my struggle, like the Bible say, troubles don't always stay the same. And I just botched that up, but y'all catch my drift. Um, how's it go? Troubles don't last forever. There it is. Troubles don't last forever. Don't let life make you think that whatever situation you in right now, it's gonna be like that forever. And I really believe the power is in the tongue. What we say and our actions follow, I believe reality will take place. Whether it's good stuff we're saying that's gonna happen in our life, or it's bad things that we say is gonna happen in our life. If we say, you know what, I know I'm gonna get out of this situation, and I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure I do what I'm supposed to do, to pick myself up by my own bootstraps and press on. And technically, everybody got a story. I'm not the only one. So I wanted this to be some kind of motivational something for you guys, but also let you guys know I'm always rooting for the underdog. I know how tough it is out here. And if I can be a word of encouragement, then so be it. And if I got to share a little stuff here and there, um, and be transparent so you guys know you're not alone, we in this thing together, and we going to win together. We're going to figure this thing out. This is a rant. I don't even know what to call this video, but I wanted to speak from the heart. This is Mike Chevalier. I'm going to always keep it simple and precise.